Like you cannot see Klaus's eyes right now.
Of course not. I'm the hat man.
You're the head man.
And welcome to the Atarangi. Today we will be talking about Kung Fu Panda cosplaying some Monster Hunter in our Kung Fu Warrior outfits.
He seemingly has a war hat for some reason.
Because he's a Kung Fu animal. That's what the movie is about, my dude.
Yes.
Right, so let's start off with the good old spoiler-free section, shall we?
Yes, we shall.
So first, general thoughts on the movie.
Love it.
Yeah, it's actually really it's funny. It has good lessons in it.
Yep.
And
It looks great.
for the time, the animation was very good, and to this day, it's actually still really good.
Yeah.
Like it holds up pretty well.
It's also dripping with style.
Yes.
There's some quite interesting lessons indeed. Some stuff you don't see a lot, like a parent figure taking responsibility for failing to raise a child properly. Something like that, you don't see that very often.
And it happens every day.
Of course. Well, it doesn't happen every day.
Yeah, that's
They
the problem.
don't tend to take the responsibility.
Yeah, that's the problem. But it's something that should happen every day, and it doesn't.
Yes. We are hunting a white bear rabbit boy because I thought it was fitting with the theme of the video.
Is it though?
Yes, buddy,
Yeah.
it is. Why do you have to question everything?
Because I must. For it is my duty.
5 feet is your duty. Alright, anything else? The music is excellent. By Hans Zimmer, I believe.
Yes, well, by two composers, Hans Zimmer
yeah,
being one of them.
This is the other one on screen. Thanks, Kowalski.
Yep.
Movies by DreamWorks. Recently acquired by Disney, sadly.
F's in the chat. Klaus will
Disney
not
is
signing
playing
episode.
Monopoly.
Yeah, no, I'm just grabbing afflicted materials.
Yeah, some afflicted materials.
Right, so
buffs.
the final part before we move on to spoilers, I guess, is in the advertising for this movie, they played up the jokes a lot. And it looked like it was just gonna be like a parody of Kung Fu movies. But they went really hard with the Kung Fu stuff for this movie. Like
Wait,
the
he's not
fights
white?
are great, the spiritual philosophy is great. Yeah, you're saying?
He's not white for some reason.
But he's being racist. He cannot
I was
handle a
expecting a white
non-white
guy.
combi.
He's not white for some reason. People in the 1960s be like.
Yes, I am extremely racist. Ow.
Alright, here's the scoring sheet before we move on. If you want no spoilers, but want to know our opinions. Alright, here we go, boys.
So, we can spoil it now, right?
Yes.
Starting at the intro sequence, which is hilarious.
Yeah, it's like a dream sequence with him like telling the story, and if you pay attention, he's telling it badly. Like you can hear he's making it up as he goes along.
Yes.
I wonder if they actually wrote a script for that, or if the voice actor actually had to like come up with something.
Well, Jack Black is a comedian. He plays Paul, so he very well could have improvised that. I don't know if he did. I don't think so.
Probably not.
Probably not, but he could. Kowalski, can you find anything on that?
Maybe.
Maybe. It also introduces the Furious 5, which will be relevant later in the movie. And then we see his action figures of the Furious 5 immediately.
Yep.
They're all smaller than the real ones.
And then we
Except
have
Mantis.
Except for Mantis, he's about the same.
yeah. And then we also have an awkward moment with the neighbor. Which is
Was
also
that
very-
awkward? Yeah, for go at least.
Totally.
Totally.
And then we go
this
to
is
work.
This is probably one of DreamWorks' best movies in my opinion.
Yeah, like visually, like I think it's really good. And then add on top of that, like the art style and all of that. The story, which is great. The characters that are written very well.
Especially for the time, like the lighting is very good as well.
Yes.
Like look at this lighting in the movie compared to like Shrek, which isn't that long before this movie.
They must have used Eevee.
No, they use their own render engine,
Yep.
which will go open source next year.
Hype. Starts making DreamWorks animations like a boss.
Starts making Kung Fu Panda movies.
Kung Fu Panda 4 Electric Boogaloo.
That only works with 2 Simli.
Are you sure about that?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure about
Well,
that.
since Simli is wearing Rajang armor and is a boar, it would be Kung Fu Panda 4 Electric Boar.
Yes.
And look, he's white now.
And
He
look,
did a Michael Jackson.
Michael Jackson.
he pulled off a Michael Jackson.
So we meet Mr. Ping, which in my opinion is one of the best bad fathers in movies.
He deserves the.
He tries
the
his
typical-
best so much.
Yeah.
He deserves the typical dad mug of #1dad.
Yes.
Like, he's not the best dad, because he doesn't understand, like, quite really. But, like, he tries so hard.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And honestly, that's all you want from a parent. Just, you want to see them try.
They might not succeed, but at least if they try, then they're being a good parent.
And at least if they give you soup, they should make sure it isn't too sharp.
Yes. No, I really like the father.
Speaking of characters we like, Oogway is one of the best wise sage characters I've ever seen.
I really like Uncle Iroh's brother.
Uncle Iroh's pet turtle.
Uncle Iroh's brother from another mother.
Ah, it's Uncle Iroh's pet turtle.
That's also possible.
Nice, he has such great lines as well. The animation on him is also great. I love that he says like a wise thing and Shifu doesn't agree. And then like Oogway stops smiling and goes like, "You what?"
Yeah, that was great.
In the animation. Like he doesn't say anything but just his face just go, "You what, mate?" He also just decides to die.
Yeah.
He doesn't die, he just decides to die.
It's like, my time has come.
It's just like,
Time to go!
he's just like, a big fight's coming up, I'm a peace out.
Yeah. I can easily beat this dude. But it is not my job.
Yeah, like in the lore, Oogway invented Kung Fu.
Yeah.
The guy must be like hundreds of years old.
Yeah. So why would he disappear then?
He disappears then because
Ow.
Shifu wouldn't have learned his lesson if he didn't.
Yep.
And that's why he did it.
That was a nice explosion.
Such commitment to learn, to teach a lesson.
Also, Shifu is like, once he gets into it, legitimately a great teacher.
Yeah, I love how he adjusts to
Train.
to Pooh. Like
Pooh?
adjusting like how can
Oh.
it's fucking good.
Yeah, when he's
Well, no, Pooh is the yellow bear, right?
this
Yes, I know.
Pooh is the president of China.
The law requires that I answer no.
Bij has gained plus 100.
Social credit plus
I need that social credit, boys.
Wait.
No, the training sequence is excellent.
Yeah.
I really like it. I love training montages in general, but this is like a really good one.
Oh, he going to sleep.
I don't have battles, too.
I always have battles. I am the battle in the night.
Ah, you're not playing your tune?
Battle! But I tend to not be a fan of comedy, but the jokes in this movie are pretty good.
Yeah, but like, comedy can be done very poorly, but when it's like slid in there casually, it's pretty good. What the hell? Oh,
It's a
fuck.
turf war.
Get him, boy!
Are they using Kung Fu?
No.
I'm pretty
No,
sure that
actually,
is Kung Fu.
actually Tetranedon uses sumo.
Yeah.
Yeah, actually. But I'm pretty sure in sumo you also don't eat your opponent.
You would if you could. And you
Indeed.
don't.
Now I will use Claus as weapon. Another monster.
I also love that Poe just... I love that the Dragon Scroll isn't a magical thing that makes you powerful.
Yeah, I love how it's just empty.
It's a
It's a
lesson.
mirror. It's a mirror.
Yeah, it's a mirror.
Also love that he doesn't understand right away.
Yeah.
And even more, I really like that Ping tells him the lesson and not somebody from the Jade Palace.
Yeah. I also love how
Well, he
there
didn't
is no
really
secret.
tell him. It was
Yeah,
like,
I love how there is no secret ingredient. Also means that when he cooked those noodles for the 5, that he actually like when they
Cooked the
commented,
correct secret ingredients.
like when they commented like this is great, like it actually means that like he did it exactly like his father, and his father wasn't per se better like he said.
I also like that all of the 5 respond differently to Poe entering the palace.
Yes.
Like Viper is actually kind of supportive. Mantis makes a lot of like jokes at Poe's expense, but he's also supportive. Crane is kinda mad, but he doesn't want to show it.
You mad, bro?
And Tigress is just angry.
Yes.
And Monkey will just take any chance he gets to make fun of anyone.
yes, because he's monkey.
But I think Tigress is mad because she worked hard to get that scroll, so to speak,
Well,
and then she didn't. So like anybody would be mad.
I mean, that's basically Tai Long's backstory.
yeah.
Yeah.
I find it impressive that Tai Long can be both funny and kinda like intimidating.
Our
Just-
battle will be legendary!
No, the
Like, he's
battle will
not-
be over.
He's not scary, but he is intimidating. Like he has a presence. Like he lobs this rhino into the air and like takes another 20 dudes before he hits the floor.
The escape sequence is so good.
Yeah.
The shots in the escape sequence. This shot with the arrows. Special. I also love that they did the one often reaches destiny on
Where do
the
you get
road
over
it
here?
takes to avoid it with several steps with Tai Long. He couldn't have escaped if Shifu didn't send the goose. He couldn't have escaped if they didn't fire the ballistas at him.
Get over here.
No, indeed.
Like the several steps of him, he couldn't have escaped if they just didn't do anything.
Also, I love the like, the scene where he's climbing up the rocks from the explosion.
This one.
Yep, this one. It's
I-
just very cool.
I just loved it at the end. Like the rhino guy was like, oh no.
Let me run now. No. Also, like the fact like you can actually see him like retracting his claws and stuff.
Yeah, I like the little details. Like you can see people's eye change. You can see the little things.
I also really like this shot where you see Oogway talking, but the camera is not looking at Oogway, it's looking at the water, at Oogway's reflection.
Yeah.
It's a great shot. Like, it's not just well animated, like, they decide where the camera goes really well.
Yeah, positioning, lighting, it's all like very well thought out.
The fights go really hard sometimes. Like the Shifu versus Tai Long is my favorite fight.
Yeah.
With Tai Long's hands going on fire and stuff like that.
Yeah. That's very
Also the
visual.
environment. Like the environment reacting to what's happening in
Yeah,
stuff.
them breaking stuff.
You know, breaking stuff in the background or
Yeah, scratches in the pillars.
like the boom every time.
Every time Po gets hit.
or the jar. Ooh.
Just every time.
Like they actually like
Small little jokes like in the background.
yeah, it's just details, you know, and details can really do a lot.
This movie has a great vibe.
Damn it, hier dan nog. Ow.
For 3D animation, I honestly think Kung Fu Panda has some of the best, like, martial arts fighting.
Yes.
It has competition in 2D, but I don't think there's much competition in 3D for good martial arts fighting. Not in the big movies, of course. There's probably some indie people out there that have done some good stuff. I like that they take the time on this shot here to show that when Shifu apologizes to Tai Long, like, it really sinks in, and then Tai Long just goes, "I've gone too far, I cannot turn back now."
Yeah.
Like, you see him think about it, like, for a solid few seconds before he starts fighting again.
Yeah.
Tai Long is
like,
a good villain.
actually letting words sink in is something that doesn't happen in movies often, and it does happen in this one, and that's because that's one of the scenes, but the other scene is like the scene where it's like there is no secret ingredient. Also have that
Yeah.
of like having a pause between two characters to let something sink in. It helps make the moment feel more real, but also helps the viewer.
It's just plain old noodles. You don't add
It shows to the viewer that this was an important statement.
Yeah, and also like it gives you time to process it.
Yeah. I also, what's kind of impressive, like, Ping and Oogway are both great characters. They have like no screen time. Like, both of them are barely actually in the movie.
Yeah.
Oogway has like 5 scenes, I think.
Indeed. Yeah, it's not gonna be much more than 5 scenes.
Double check me on that, Kowalski.
Yeah.
And Ping doesn't have very many more than that, I think. He has a bit more than Oogway, but not that much more.
Imagine having more.
He has a lot more in the second movie, which we will review
Sometime.
not as our next movie, but as the movie after that.
Probably.
Some variety.
I also love that they
Claus,
brought
don't
in...
promise the people
Yeah.
this.
I already did. I also love that they brought in... No, when we do a series of movies, we should just do another one
Yeah.
in between and go to the next one.
It makes sense to do it this
I
way.
love that they brought in Jackie Chan to give him like 5 lines.
Yeah.
It's just expensive, okay?
You guys got anything else on the movie?
Yes, one little thing I like. When
Sure.
Tai Lung got a scroll and he opened it, he did this exact same reactions as Shifu.
Yeah. He did the exact same moves as Shifu did.
Yeah.
He copied his father.
Indeed.
I would actually say they probably just took the rig and just put it on the same.
It might actually be, but the facial animation is very different.
Hey, you need to copy someone's homework, but change it slightly.
Yeah. I also love that I forgot what I was gonna say.
Yes.
Yep.
I hate it too.
You're a professional.
There's some good jokes in it, like the face when Tigers was telling the story that bit is going like, "That's my fault."
That's all.
Oh, that's it.
Wait! My fault! I accidentally tweaked his facial nerve.
The credit sequence is also very fun with some 2D animation.
Yeah.
Let us know what you think of this movie. Let us know what you think of our kung fu outfits. Anything else, guys?
No.
I don't have a
We
board
will
gun.
see you in the next video.
Actually, no, we won't. We won't see you in the next movie. In the next movie. We'll see you in the next movie. We'll see you on the score screen.
Before we get into the scoring sheet, I quickly want to say not enough cabbages get destroyed in this movie.
What do you mean not enough cabbages?
Not like cabbages! As you can see, it's all around high scores for this one.
Yeah, indeed.
I mean, most of it is great. Like, the world building is like, it doesn't get touched up on too deeply, but it does exist.
Yeah.
The rest of it's just great.
The visuals at the time were excellent. Today they're still great. You can see that in our score. The quality is lower because the quality was lower back then. But style and consistency both are great. Design is very high. That's simply because, well, that's exactly how you want a kung fu movie setting to look, with the thin pointy mountains, the cool rock areas and stuff like that.
Yeah, the temples, all that sort of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
The clothing also fits really
course.
well, all that sort of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
The characters got a pretty high score because, well, the characters play their roles well and all that sort of stuff.
Yeah, we kinda had to give it a high score because we said that both Oogway and Ping are some of the best of their character archetypes.
Yes.
Indeed.
But we're not all the way up there because it's not perfect. And
Of course. They're pretty generic designs, just animal with kung fu clothes.
Yeah, pretty much.
But that's all they needed.
But I do like how they tie in, like, the take for example when
How they tie in the long.
how tigers land, like she lands like a tiger, which is pretty cool. So they do work with it.
I love that Viper constantly breaks her spine in her moves. Like she goes in 90-degree angles.
Acting wise, we didn't really give it a super high score because
it's noticeable there were some like big names for the sake of big names.
Yeah.
Very common in DreamWorks movies.
Yeah, I guess that happens. Hey, whatever.
Yeah.
And then we didn't give story super high score either, but
Yeah, there was not much of plot happening. The themes and tone were very good though.
yeah. Which is, I would say, the most important part.
It depends on what kind of thing you're telling though.
Of course.
Like if you're telling a detective story, like the plot and the tone are important and the theme isn't very important.
But what if we wanted to be an LA Noir movie?
Yeah, that's all about tone. Like it's 90% tone and then 10% plot.
Blood. Yeah.
And 0.33 repeating, of course, percent theme.
Indeed.
Don't let anyone yell Leroy Jenkins right now, because that would end the video.
Oh no, my cat! Can you hear it? No, because she only meows.
We're just gonna let Simli struggle here. And we'll see you next time.